Last week, something strange happened on Wall Street. A company powering the global AI boom reported record-breaking revenue. Demand for its chips is so intense that orders are booked months in advance. Normally, that kind of news sends a stock soaring. Instead, the shares dropped. Across the market, several AI companies slipped on the same day. Nothing had gone wrong. No failed product, no government crackdown, no new competitor. The trigger was a research memo circulating among investors. And the scenario it described raised a question that suddenly felt very real. What happens when AI stops assisting work and starts doing the work itself? The document was titled The 2028 Global Intelligence Crisis. It came from Citrini Research, a macro research firm studying how emerging technologies reshape the economy. The paper wasn't predicting a collapse. It was a stress test, essentially a thought experiment. What might happen if artificial intelligence improves faster than businesses, workers, and institutions can adapt? Even as a hypothetical scenario, the numbers caught attention. The report modeled a case where U.S. unemployment rises to around 10% by 2028. For context, the current unemployment rate sits near 4%. That kind of shift would represent millions of displaced workers. But unemployment wasn't the idea that spooked investors. The key argument involved a transition in how artificial intelligence works. Most tools people interact with today fall into the category known as generative AI. They write emails, generate images, summarize information, help developers write software. They produce content. But they still rely on humans to decide what happens next. The next phase of AI may look different. Researchers call it agentic AI. Instead of generating answers, these systems can pursue objectives, logging into tools, analyzing data, making decisions, executing multi-step tasks. The difference sounds subtle, but economically, it's huge. Think about how many jobs revolve around coordination, scheduling, reporting, compliance checks, managing workflows. Entire software industries exist largely to organize these processes. If automation begins handling those workflows directly, some of those layers begin to shrink. The report describes the resulting dynamic as ghost GDP. Companies become dramatically more efficient, productivity rises, corporate profits look fantastic. But something unusual happens at the same time. If automation reduces wages across large parts of the workforce, consumer spending weakens. So the economy appears strong in financial reports, while households feel something very different. The idea might sound theoretical, but early versions of agentic systems already exist. In one demonstration earlier this year, an AI system was given a simple objective: reduce cloud infrastructure costs. Instead of producing a report, the system logged into monitoring dashboards, analyzed server usage patterns, identified idle machines, and drafted commands to shut them down. A human engineer still reviewed everything, but most of the operational work had already been completed. The engineer's job shifted. Less time collecting information, more time evaluating the system's decisions. And that shift, from operator to supervisor, is what many analysts believe could spread across industries. Quick pause here. If you enjoyed deep dives into the stories shaping technology and the future of work, consider subscribing. A thumbs up helps more people discover the video. And I'm curious what you think. Will AI mostly augment human professionals or eventually replace entire layers of work? Let me know in the comments. Even the most aggressive automation scenarios have limits. Certain kinds of work remain difficult for AI. Jobs tied to the physical world involve unpredictable environments. Another category involves accountability. Organizations still need people who can make decisions and accept responsibility for the results. You can't send an algorithm to court. And then there are professions built on human trust: leadership, negotiation, teaching, advisory roles. Across all these areas, a pattern emerges. The value of simply knowing information is declining. The value of applying knowledge in complex situations is rising. That shift is already influencing how technical skills are taught. Reading about a system rarely prepares someone to use it. Real understanding usually happens when people interact with the technology directly, running commands, configuring systems, fixing errors. Many learning platforms now build hands-on environments for this. For example, platforms like UCertify combine certificate courses with interactive labs, where learners practice using real tools instead of just reading theory. It's a small detail in the larger AI story, but it reflects the same trend. Learning is starting to resemble real technical work. The market turbulence triggered by the report faded quickly. Stocks recovered,
and economists pointed out that technological revolutions historically create new industries, even as they disrupt old ones. But the conversation sparked by that memo revealed something important. Artificial intelligence is moving beyond novel tools. It's becoming part of how organizations actually operate. And when that happens, the most valuable skills change. Not simply knowing information, but knowing how to apply it in real systems. So the real shift may not be AI replacing people. It may be a shift in what skills matter most. Which is why many people now describe the future of technical education in a simple way. Less memorization, more experimentation. Less theory alone, more learning by doing.